Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be playing a very special fan project called Project Eden's Garden. Now, I have been following this project for an extremely long time, and I even played the prologue quite a bit ago. However, as of today, which is December 20th, 2024, Chapter 1 of Project Eden's Garden has officially released, and today we're going to be playing it. However, we will be playing through the prologue first, just as like a refresher, as getting a little bit of a recap, and then we'll be playing all of Chapter 1 completely all the way through. And before we get into the game, to the Project Eden's Gardens team, I'm not just saying this because I'm playing your game on my channel. I really do mean when I say this. This is one of the most polished and well put together Danganronpa fan projects I have ever seen on this planet. So I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to you guys for creating such an amazing game and such an amazing product. And thank you all so much for being so dedicated to this product as well. And you know, I really hope that this launch day for you is everything you were hoping for and more. And I really hope that this chapter was everything that I was hoping for and more. So without further ado, I and my trusty Monokuma sidekick on the side of me are going to get right into this game. Stay tuned. I'm taking this in. I'm absorbing this. Wolfgang Akira lurched over the boiler room platform. Completely still, completely silent. The ultimate lawyer, unmistakably dead. Kai's scream rang loud in my ears. I could hear everything, all the fear and anxiety from the past 5 days joined in a chorus of terror. Before I knew it, I was yelling too. No, I can't look at it. My arms, my legs, there was no weight in them anymore. Only pins and needles, pricking every inch of my skin. What do I do? What am I supposed to do?
A body has been discovered. All students must proceed to the room on the underground floor immediately. Time will be allotted for all participants to investigate the murder. And afterwards, the real class trial will begin.
Oh my god, you guys, we're about to get to the investigation and class trial.
Good luck, everybody.
I have my journal here, and I have my trusty pink pen. We're going to get to the bottom of this case together, okay, guys? We're going to become some Nancy Drews. We're going to become some Sherlock and Holmes and some Watsons. We're going to solve this case, okay? Let's just take our notes together, divas. Good luck, everybody. The real class trial.
Oh, shit!
This can't be for real. There's no way. There's no way. With a wail, Kai booked it out of the room. I knew it was inevitable. I knew we'd chosen this path when we started denying the reality of the killing game. But seeing Wolfgang displayed the way he was, his face contorted into a look of terror, it made everyone's naivete all the more worse. Wow. And what does this mean? What did this mean for his blackmail? Wait a minute, so we had his blackmail. Oh my god, everyone's gonna think that we killed him. Fuck. Everyone's gonna think that we did it because we have his blackmail. But we don't know who has our blackmail. So it wouldn't make sense for us to do it, but I still think people are gonna suspect us because of this. But no, Kai was with me. I have an alibi. Okay, never mind, I'm good. And also they said if it was one of the people in the closet, we would have also heard a door opening, but we only heard footsteps. That's right. Okay. So that means Mark and John, Jet, and Cassidy Eva and Grace, and finally Kai and Damon. The 8 of us were the ones who were searching the thing, but we didn't hear a door, which means Mark, Jean, Jet, Cassidy, Eva, Grace, Kai, and Damon, as of right now, aren't really suspicious. Also, we don't know who got whose. We know a few people got. We know a few of the students. What's it called? Who got what blackmail. Like, we know some of the answers, but not all. Okay. Alright, I got my note taken. That's all I needed to do. Alright, time to move forward. I'll never know what that blackmail meant. Maybe if I had just bit the bullet and confronted Wolfgang about it. Damon! Are you okay? I heard the announcement and... Is that Wolfgang? Kai was right. The tournament attendees burst through the door, tailed by a stumbling Kai. I really didn't want to believe it. Why the heck would I lie? Are we 100% certain he's dead? I don't see any wounds. Maybe he's still breathing.
Morning.
Oh no, he's very much dead.
Son of a bitch!
This has got to be an accident, right?
Why the long face?
Why do you ask? Well, if the death wasn't intentional, it could be treated like manslaughter or something, and not need a trial.
Rubbish.
Intentional or not, the killer's hands are still dirty with blood, no? As far as I'm concerned, murder is murder. Be it third degree murder, manslaughter, or anything in between. Besides, if Wolfgang's death was indeed an accident and the killer bore no ill intent, don't you find it rather strange they haven't come forward and confessed? Then tell us. Tell us who did this.
Who? Me?
Tell you, the killer? Where's the fun in the mystery? Where's the fun in a mystery you already know the answer to? I'll keep my lips sealed, thank you very much.
Hold on.
So, there's definitely a killer?
Moving on.
Ah, downstairs already? Aren't you a quick-footed bunch? Holy shit.
Nonsense!
A cacophony of wails filled my ears, hailing the arrival of the remaining students. It was almost instantaneous, how quickly the color drained from everyone's faces. They'd entered the room completely bright red, having clearly made a desperate sprint to the boiler room. But now, they looked as lifeless as the man laying in front of them. What happened here? Damon and me, we just found him like this. It's a sight to behold, I'm sure. Your beloved classmate who was once so lively, now splayed dead in front of you.
Duh.
To think I didn't even have to lift a finger after the blackmail. What are the odds? How could you?
Me?
How could I? You tickle me, Eloise. You must remember, this is a killing game between students. Unless the rule states otherwise, a student can only be murdered by another student.
Blood is rushing.
The undeniable truth is that one of you killed Wolfgang. That's right, a person we've been living with, who I've spoken to before. That person is in this room right now, staring at their own crime scene. So, are we going to completely disregard the fact you showed each of us another person's blackmail? I was simply pushing you all to the right direction. Do not take it personally. But, Wolfgang, he was so nice to everyone. Why would someone do this? Well, if it is any consolation, I have a gift prepared. A gift?
Twist.
Behold, the Tozu tablet. The second Tozu tablet, to be more precise. You're even naming the tablet after yourself? It's always been called this. You just didn't know until now.
Moving on.
Anyway, I trust you all remember how the tablet operates, yes? If not, allow me to briefly run you through it again. This tablet contains a summary of the crime scene. Certain special details like the victim's time of death have been oh so thoughtfully provided for you. Go on, take a look. Wow. The victim is Wolfgang Akiri. The ultimate lawyer. He was discovered in the boiler room on the underground floor. He is kneeling in the water, and his upper body is slumped over the concrete platform. Estimated time of death is approximately 9:35 a.m. So that, okay, so I don't think that, so then the culprit cannot be Mark, Jean, Jet, Cassidy, Eva, Grace, Kai, or David. If he died that early, those people were accounted for with partners. They were all accounted for and have alibis because they were in pairs. We were all in pairs together. So who does that leave? So we don't know. Winona. Ulysses. Diana. Toshiko. Eloise. So that means the culprit is either Winona, Desmond, Ulysses, Ingrid, Diana, Toshiko, or Eloise. That's crazy. There's a 5 in 7 chance that our culprit is a girl. That's kind of crazy. Okay, let's solve this crime.
No.
This is different from the first tablet we got. No, I'm quite confident you're holding the same brand of tablet. Look, the shape and size are identical. I mean, why is there information missing from the tablet? The cause of death. When we investigated the dummy's murder, the tablet explicitly said she died from blood loss. But this tablet, it doesn't list Wolfgang's cause of death anywhere.
Rubbish.
Of course, saying otherwise would make things too easy.
No.
Come again. You see, the tablet's information has been divulged in such a way that both the killer and the spotless have equal chance of success. What does that mean?
Moving on.
That's all you're getting from me. Tally-ho.
No.
Wait. Damn it, he's already out of here. How nimble was this guy?
Why?
Make what too easy? Solving Wolfgang's death?
This looks bad.
No way. Is he saying the cause of death is part of the mystery? Fuck this, who cares?
Crazy.
I'm not investigating shit. Keep me out of
Look
this.
at me.
I don't want to be here. I don't want to keep looking at him.
Just no.
You have to be insane to think I'm touching a dead body. One by one, multiple students made their way to the door. It was then that she finally spoke.
No.
Stop! Although she didn't yell, there was an overwhelming intensity to her voice. The same kind that caught everyone's attention back in the trial room. Immediately, the runaways froze.
Yeah.
What do you want? You all remember the rules, don't you? If we don't solve Wolfgang's murder and uncover the killer,
Can't you see?
then we are going to die. Our feelings don't matter in this killing game. They never did. All that matters right now is finding the truth.
Don't test me.
Rich coming from you.
Bad news.
Maybe it is, but that doesn't mean she's wrong. If we accuse an innocent person, everyone except the killer will be executed. That's what Tozu said, and that's what was reiterated by our watches.
It is how it is.
Whether we like it or not, those are the rules. If it's the difference between life or death, there's nothing much else we can do. But I don't want to look at him. Investigating a crime scene doesn't mean investigating just the body. It's standard procedure in homicide investigations to try and pinpoint the victim's movements before their death. That means searching places they've gone to, people they've spoken to. In Wolfgang's case, his dorm room might be an area of interest.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oop. Since the dorms don't have locks, there's nothing stopping anyone from entering. When you put it like that. Hey, broski, want to explore the dorm? Sure. If you guys are going, then I'll come with. Yeah, same for me. The way Eva spoke with such precision and such calmness. It's the same way she spoke when we discovered the dummy.
Hold your horses.
Hold on. Ulysses won't be going anywhere. What?
Aye.
That notebook you're carrying. Whatever evidence we find down here, I want you recording it. What about us? We might discover something huge upstairs. The area with the body deserves the most attention. Once we have exhausted our options here, then we'll head up there.
Moving on.
Obviously, I'll remain here. You should too, Damon. Right. My mind was still reeling from the shock of discovering the body, and the lump in my throat still wouldn't go away. But Wolfgang really was dead, and I had to find out why.
I don't understand.
It's just so hard to believe. Could one of our friends really be a murderer? Friends. She said it like that blind optimism isn't what the killer most likely exploited. After all, how can you suspect anyone if you trust everyone? It's an environment perfect for deceit. An environment perfect for murder. And worst of all, an environment that we've created. Okay. Let me do what I did last time and look back over the tablet first. Okay. Right. Okay. It still pissed me off seeing everything except the cause of death listed, especially when I knew the reason why. Tozu's definitely compensating for the killer, probably because they failed to hide their own tracks, and withdrawing information might be his way of balancing the odds.
Won't lose.
Bullshit rules. Who's to say they won't be abused? Regardless, Wolfgang's cause of death should be treated as the crux of this mystery. If I can figure out how he died, then everything else should fall into place. Alas, poor Wolfgang, the guiding light of the ultimate student, snuffed out in an instant. No use crying over it, though. There's a mystery to be solved. Like any true investigation, important evidence won't always be visible on first glance. Should you ever find yourself stuck, press F3 to view the game's controls. By the way, any truth bullets you obtain will be logged by your Tozu trinket, which can be accessed anytime by pressing F1. You know, in case you need the reminder. That's all from us. Bye-bye. Alright, let's do this. Let's look at this blood. There was blood speckled across the floor. I didn't notice it at first due to the room's restricted lighting, but now after my eyes had time to adjust, it couldn't be more obvious. It looks like it's into the hallway too. I'd completely missed these during the blackout. Speaking of, after the body discovery announcement, everyone barged into the boiler room through this door. Yet these blood spots don't look smudged. I'm guessing they were already dry by the time any of us got here. In which case, could this be Wolfgang's blood? Taser. He was electrocuted. A taser gun. Pretty random thing to be laying around a crime scene. It definitely wasn't in the boiler room prior to the murder either. Didn't that mean the taser gun was involved in the murder? On closer inspection, there's nothing about the gun that looked particularly strange. Had it ever been used? I'm pretty sure taser guns suspend some kind of wire when fired. Nearby were some yellow pieces of plastic on the floor. They were the same shade of yellow as the taser gun. Had these originally been attached to it? I can't tell where they would fit on the gun though. Never mind. What's the point of making guesses when I can just get him to confirm? After all, someone who's a pro at wielding guns should know them better than anyone. Alright, so I need to talk to Desmond. Let's look at the generator. Half of the generator's infernals had been melted away, and what still remained was almost completely singed. Yeah, this was definitely the cause of the power outage. What could have melted the wires, though? It looked like a bomb had gone off in there. Now that I think about it, during the game tournament. There had been a loud boom right before the blackout happened, similar to a firework going off, or someone firing a gun. Did I overhear the sound of the generator being destroyed? Nothing else near the dining hall could have made that noise, I don't think. If my assumption is correct, the generator would have been destroyed around the same time the murder was committed. That's suspicious as hell. There's no way the two events are connected. But I'm also working purely off memory of the boom. To be absolutely sure, I need to know when exactly the blackout occurred. Was there any way for me to find that out? Okay. Let's talk to Eva. Aren't you going to investigate Wolfgang? Me?
Yeah.
Who else? Back when we mistook the dummy for a body, you poked it pretty nonchalantly. That's different. I never thought it was real. I see. Now that we're finally advancing in the investigation, her cool composure had all but vanished. Typical, I guess. She can only keep up and act for so long.
Hello?
Winona, you're still here?
Seriously?
Is there a problem with that? Why did you need to frame everything I say in the worst light? I'm preparing to hold a one-on-one session with Ulysses. I was consulting him about something important before we were interrupted by the announcement. Is that what you were doing before the blackout? Repeat that.
It's simple.
The blackout. Were you still with Ulysses when it
Come
happened?
on.
You're not speaking any sense. There was no power outage. She can't be serious. The blackout affected the entire building, unless...
Anyways,
Where were you when the murder happened? Where were you? At Cassidy's game tournament in the dining hall.
Oh, really?
Really? Not what I
Let
expected.
me see.
Ulysses and I spent the morning by the large tree. We stayed there up to and including the time of Wolfgang's murder. Sounded like she had an alibi then. As for the location she mentioned, I assumed the entire building complex connected to the one generator. But it made more sense for the tree to have its own separate system. Hence why it didn't lose power. What about the courtyard, though? Was there anyone there at the time of the blackout? Let's talk to Ulysses.
terrible.
The generator over there is partially submerged in the water. I think we should be wise to stay on this platform. Was he worried about the water being electrocuted? Even I managed to stand in it way back then. I don't see why now it would be any different. Then again, the generator wasn't damaged last time.
Damn.
Yeah, since Wolfgang is kneeling in the water, we should avoid touching him. You don't know for sure if the water's unsafe.
Listen to me.
Before you start making conclusions, you should experiment first. Saying that, Eva walked over to the pile of boxes and pulled out a light bulb. Oh, I see what you're doing. Sure enough, Eva went straight to the edge of the platform and threw the light bulb in the water.
Look.
See? It's not lighting up. That means the water is safe. I see. Then I suppose it's safe to inspect Wolfgang. Are you going to? I think I will observe from afar instead. Now isn't the time to be listening to your nerves.
Ah,
Take a whiff of the air. Ain't there something off about it? I followed his instructions and sniffed the air. It smells like burnt rubber.
that ain't it.
Because of the busted generator, yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. There's another scent, a real bitter one. You might actually be onto something. It's almost like cereal and rubbing alcohol.
Bad news.
Indeed, I'm suspecting a mighty chemical reaction at work. I've had my fair share of travels across the seas, and I'm no stranger to foul play. There's no stench worse than one of a disastrous combustion.
That's how it is.
Thing is, I got no idea where it's coming from. Really? The smell is supposedly that of a chemical reaction. What else could be coming from besides the busted generator? Unless Jean's conclusion about the smell is wrong? I wouldn't put it past him. Oh, cord. There's a cord in the water. Judging by the length, I think it's an extension cord. But what the hell happened to the other end of it? There was no internal plug. Just a frayed tipped line with a black substance. Had the cord been burnt? I didn't see the cord in the boiler room earlier, so it probably came from someplace else. One of the storage rooms, maybe. It wasn't always in this condition, that's for sure. All the times we've been provided so far, light bulbs, speakers, a fridge, they've worked perfectly well. So what happened to this cord? And why was it in the water? Shrapnel. Chunks of something red floating in the water nearby the generator. It almost looked like metal or maybe plastic. Were these originally part of the generator? The colors and material don't seem to match though. Shrapnel. Okay, so something here that was like metal or plastic exploded. Knife. A knife. Why was a knife floating in the water? On the blade and in the surrounding water, I can make something out. The unmistakable color of blood. There's no doubt about it. The knife must have something to do with the murder. Why was the knife here and not actually on the platform? I had no idea. If Wolfgang doesn't have any wounds, and he got electrocuted, then that leads me to believe that the killer is wounded. So maybe that's gonna be like the crux of us figuring out what happened. Look at the floor in front of the door.
Seriously?
This is just a small piece of scrap. No, that's a bobby pin.
Frank? That's not important.
Oh, Diana Diva. Diana, I know you're the one to do it. Oh, Diana. Oh no. A bobby pin? Oh, the cosmetologist did it, sweetie. That's very clearly a bobby pin. I mean, maybe because I'm a drag queen and I know beauty products, it's common sense to me and common knowledge. Maybe it's not common knowledge to everyone, but that's very clearly a bobby pin. So either somebody who wears bobby pins or uses them. Do you want to inspect him? Holy crap, did you really have to scare me like that? Yeah, I do want to inspect him. It's just the idea of getting close to him. I'll investigate with you. It'll be easier for both of us that way. Right?
Right.
Alright, let's do it. Wolfgang laid completely still, his face frozen in a look of horror. His once bright eyes were shrouded in darkness, and his mouth was open as if he'd been killed mid-scream. Eva's expression said it all. Wolfgang did everything in his power to make us outcasts and make the worst of us. At times I even hated him for it, but this brought no relief to either of us. Wolfgang, what happened in his final moments that left him so terrified? Was it the realization he was about to die? Mulling over the what-ifs won't bring me any closer to solving Wolfgang's murder. Right now, my focus should be to find evidence, and that begins by investigating his body. His hand. With the way Wolfgang was slumped over on the platform, it also looked like he had fallen on top of it. Let me see if the palms are scratched. As I knelt down to take a closer look, trickling out from under the cuff of Wolfgang's sleeves and onto the rest of his hand, a strange injury that looked like a tree sapling. Was this a burn mark? So he definitely got electrocuted. Because that definitely looks like a burn mark from being shocked. When I looked at Wolfgang's other hand, I saw the same thing. Markings that seemed to extend down the arm. Eva, look at this. Let me see. Yeah, burn marks. That's really horrible. They look like gross little veins. What inflicted them? There's a taser a little ways off from where we're standing, but I couldn't find anything to indicate it's been fired. So the only thing I can think of is the generator.
Is that really true?
Why the generator? The thing has clearly been destroyed by something. Maybe Wolfgang got caught up in that something and that's how he died.
Not sure.
I'm not sure. The generator seems too far away from where Wolfgang is lying to cause burns like this.
Look at this.
Plus, the room's water isn't conductive, so electricity couldn't have traveled through it.
Right.
You're right. Anything able to melt the generator's wires would have burnt his suit to a crisp. I think Wolfgang received these burns outside of the boiler room. There's just nothing here that could leave these markings. As for the actual place he got burnt, guess we'll have to try and find it ourselves. That is, if such a place even exists. While it's possible the generator may not have been involved in the murder, it seemed unlikely that Wolfgang made a detour for the boiler room after being severely burnt. After all, burns like this would definitely paralyze someone. As for Wolfgang's palms, they didn't have any markings on them. Still, he must have fallen somehow. Why else would he be lying on the platform? There didn't seem to be any strange markings on Wolfgang's face. However, along the back of his neck, there was a massive bruise. That looks like a really bad injury. Almost his entire neck is discolored. Right, how did he get this on the back of his neck? Nothing around seems to have left it. This might sound morbid, but what if it's a sign of his body decomposing? Can a body really decompose that fast? It could, or it could not. It probably depends on the environment, as in the temperature.
Correct.
Cold places are generally better for preserving things in warm, humid areas like the boiler room.
Thinking.
Kind of like dairy products. That's a good comparison. A tone-deaf one, but yeah. Wolfgang didn't have this bruise yesterday at the very least. If he did, it would have been super noticeable. True. Turning my attention back to Wolfgang, I caught something else on his body. Near the mark on his neck, but not directly overlapping it. A red dot. Is this a beauty mark? Doesn't look like it. The skin around the dot seems to be inflamed. It reminds me of a popped pimple. The sort of wound you could easily inflict on yourself. Then you don't think this is related to the murder? It might not be,
There
but
must be something.
judging by the lack of scabbing, this was inflicted pretty recently, so we may as well keep it in mind. Oh, maybe, what if he wasn't electrocuted, but it was made to look like he was electrocuted, and instead he got poisoned with something from the pharmacy? I have the mind of a mastermind.
Telling you, I have the mind of a I have the mind of a mastermind. What's that? I don't know, but I'm so creative like that.
Now that I think about it, the place where Wolfgang laid was odd. What were the chances he would end up here, between the only opening of the fence? The one spot where he could kneel over like this. Was it possible he'd been trying to climb onto the platform before he died? It's strange why he didn't use the stairs, though. And even stranger that he was in the water. Wolfgang's suit was completely crumpled, a far cry from his once clean appearance. Water had seeped into the pants, completely ruining the fabric. As I leaned in close, I spotted a folded piece of paper sticking out of his back pocket. Though it was soaked, it wasn't completely destroyed. I really don't want to touch him, but with the thumb and index finger, I snatched the paper out of his pocket, taking care not to brush my hand against his body. I gingerly fold open the paper, aware that some of the wetter spots could fall apart immediately, and found a message written inside. That's some very ugly handwriting. Do you recognize it?
No.
A lot of the text is unreadable. Whoever wrote this is probably used a low-quality pen. Although, at the bottom of the page, fragments of a message were still visible. Secret, 8:15 a.m., boiler room, close the door. Doesn't this read a lot like a command? It seems like someone wanted to arrange a private meeting with him in
I
here.
see.
Could that someone be the culprit?
Not sure.
8:15 a.m. That's a long time before the time of death, though. Maybe there was a struggle, or maybe Wolfgang arrived late.
There must be something.
Either way, this message is definitely a valuable clue. It's our only insight into Wolfgang's movements before his death. Well, now I really want to know where everyone was at that time. I woke up at 8:30 this morning, so I was asleep when this meeting was scheduled to happen. It's only 35 minutes before the tournament. Cassidy, Jet, Mark, and I would have already been in the dining hall. Okay. So it's not Eva, and it's not me and Kai, and it's not Cassidy, Jet, Mark, or Eva. Right, setting up the equipment.
That's...
As for the other students, directly asking them where they were at 8:15 might sound risky.
Where?
Because they would wonder where we got that time from. Exactly, and I'd prefer to keep this note between the two of us. At least for now.
Anyways.
This thing about a secret, what do you think that means?
Gah.
Well, I'm not really sure. It could be referring to anything. Anything, huh? You know what it means.
I know.
I have an idea. The author of this letter might be talking about Wolfgang's blackmail. If they claim to have it, they could have baited him here without much issue. After all, Wolfgang asked us to meet with the person whose blackmail we had.
Strange.
A derelict boiler room is a pretty ominous place to meet someone, though. It would have been Wolfgang's first time here, too, assuming he didn't explore this floor beforehand.
What could it be?
Either way, he didn't see the super obvious danger in meeting here alone. Or he did realize, and just didn't care.
Right.
Does that change anything about what I said? Well, duh. If Wolfgang knew the warning signs, his reason for coming might have less to do with integrity, and more to do with desperation.
Huh?
To know more details of his blackmail.
I see.
It would stand to reason. If only Wolfgang had hidden this note somewhere safe instead of bringing it here, it would have been valuable evidence. I doubt he could have envisioned something like this happening. He was never really on his guard about this killing game, except around you and me, I guess. That seemed to be everything I could gather.
Hello.
Hey, Damon. Since we've inspected the boiler room, we should find the students who left and ask them their testimonies.
Right.
They went upstairs to investigate Wolfgang's dorm, right? Yes, because of what I said earlier. The victim's last known whereabouts are the best places to search for clues.
Okay.
Let's see what they've been up to. Apart from collecting testimonies, there were 2 other matters on my mind. 1, getting Desmond to inspect the taser gun, and 2, pinpointing exactly when the blackout occurred, in case it happened at the time of the murder. I walked over to the boiler room door, which had been left slightly ajar, but as I began to pull it the rest of the way open, I noticed it. The doorknob. Something about it looked different. Hey, Eva? The doorknob, I think it's been flipped. Flipped? Are you sure? Take a look for yourself. The first time we woke up here, I'm pretty sure the lock was on the inside, not the outside.
Is that really true?
How would someone be able to flip a doorknob, though?
That's...
By unscrewing it properly? Okay. Why didn't you say something earlier? What do you mean? This is the first time I've noticed it.
Is that really true?
Really? You didn't notice it back when you entered the boiler room with Kai? No, not even then. It might have been because of the darkness, or my own nerves. But back then I wasn't paying attention to small details like the doorknob. All I wanted to do was enter the boiler room.
Anyways.
I know that makes me sound stupid.
Listen to me.
It's okay. I mean, I probably would have noticed the doorknob had I been there, but that's besides the point. Anyway, this discovery paints an interesting picture. Since the lock was now accessible from the hallway, you could technically lock the boiler room shut without ever stepping foot in it. Meaning that if you wanted to lock someone inside the boiler room, all you have to do is lure them in and close the door behind them. Oh! Okay.
Moving on.
Come on, we need to collect people's testimonies before the investigation ends. Right, let's go. Actually, Eva, before we go upstairs, it's probably worth checking the storage closets first. Why?
No.
I found something in the boiler room that might be related to them. Oh yeah, the extension cord. That extension cord, we should confirm if it indeed come from a storage closet. Okay.
However,
But first, I want to talk to Cassidy. You want to talk to her? Yes, I want to talk to her. Is that bad? She wasn't much help last investigation. Well, any help is better than no help.
Fair.
Alright, I'll talk to Cassidy first, and then I'll investigate the storage closets on this floor. Cassidy was pacing around the hallway with a finger on her chin, seemingly doing nothing.
yo!
Hey guys, sorry for not noticing you sooner. I was performing a super sweep down of this here hallway. That's a lot of words for wandering around aimlessly. Can you put your sweep down on hold? I have a really important question. Let me hear it. Just don't drag it on too long, okay? Gotta finish my sweep down before time's up.
You see?
Do you remember who attended the tournament? The game tournament, huh? Everyone who was slated to join kept their word, so we had a full house.
About...
There were 8 people in total. Jet, Mark, Grace, Jean, Kai, and the 3 of us.
Huh?
Something on your mind? Well, since the murder happened in the boiler room, wouldn't that mean everyone in the dining hall has an alibi?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. She's totally right. But wait a minute. If the idea of locking someone in there and you didn't even have to be in there, where they told him to meet him at 8:15, then they could have been in the dining hall when the actual murder occurred, which means that's not necessarily true. I'm sure there will be a debate where we can prove that, but also, since we split into pairs while investigating those rooms down the hall, every pairing can vouch for each other. Right, we all split up. What are the groups again?
Yep.
Jet and I explored Storage Closet B.
Huh?
Storage Closet B.
Check it out.
That's what we called it on the map. See? Storage Closet B. There's also Storage Closet A, C, and D. Those are definitely the rooms we explored.
I see.
In that case, Kai and I must have explored C. I remember it clearly. The two of us checked the closet above and opposite the one of Cassie. According to this map, the only closet to fit those parameters is C.
Correct.
Grace and I invested the closest one next to Damon, so we must have been inside storage closet A, which leaves Mark and John behind storage closet D. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, Damo, since you're here, what's the deal with you in the boiler room? When Kai told us party peeps about Wolfie, he said you two went into the boiler room.
Oh,
The heck did you do that for? You were supposed to check out the storage closet. You're not casting suspicion on me, are you? Me? No way. As far as Cass is concerned, everyone is innocent until proven otherwise. I investigated the storage closet with Kai. We didn't find anything inside, although we did hear someone run down the hallway.
am I hearing you right?
For real? So someone did run.
Doubt it.
Weird. I don't remember any footsteps.
It's the truth. Really?
I do. Eva, did you really? I heard them while Grace and I were investigating the storage room next to
However-
yours. I just brushed it off as my imagination though. Guess me and Jet must have been talking over them. Were those footsteps the reason you entered the boiler room, Damo? It's Damon, and yes. They came from that direction of that room, so I wanted to see what the person was running from.
For real?
Really? I would have just chased after the footsteps. I mean, entering the boiler room after something like that? You weren't scared a murderer was hiding inside? What I actually discovered wasn't much better. True. Then whose footsteps could those have been? I don't know why anyone would want to be running around those spooky hallways, let alone in the dark.
What about...
Unless, maybe they were also looking for a backup generator?
That's not important.
I doubt it's that innocent. Considering the place the person ran away from was the crime scene, those footsteps were probably the killers. You mean fresh off committing the murder?
Right.
Fresh off the murder, or a bit after, depends on what time we went downstairs. Either way, whether it was immediately after the murder or not, for a brief moment, the only thing separating us from Wolfgang's killer were the storage room walls. That's creepy to think about. Bit by bit, the mystery slowly unravels. No need to thank me, all in a day's work. She didn't even do anything.
Interesting.
The map says it's storage closet B. The one Cassidy and Jet explored.
Look,
Do you see that? The box in the corner over there. Confused, I turned to look where she was pointing. This is I think I know what it is. A generator, the one you were referring to during the blackout.
correct.
Yeah, exactly. Since I explored these rooms, I knew one of them had a backup generator. If this closet has a backup generator, wouldn't that mean the ones who restored power?
Thinking.
If Cassidy and Jet were the only people who entered this room, then they're the people who brought the power back. Okay. Okay, this is storage closet A. Let's take a look around. As I began to inspect the shelves, the glint of something shiny caught my eye. Eva, look! There's a rolling pin down here. There's handprints on it too.
Strange.
What are you implying? That someone used this recently, and not for its intended purpose.
I know.
Can you see how the handprints are at the base of the pin? You aren't rolling much dough if you're wielding this thing like a tennis racket, are you? The pin is also really dusty. If it came from the kitchen, it would be clean like the other utensils here. Agreed. Not only that,
Jeez.
right, there's a dent on the pin too. Really? On the opposite end of the handprints, can't you see it?
Weird.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Handprints and a dent. That's definitely not a coincidence. Could this pen have something to do with the mark we found on Wolfgang's neck? If it was used to knock him out, or it would not only explain the dent on the pen, but the bruise on Wolfgang's neck. How did it make its way in the closet, though? What do you mean? How did the pen make its way into the closet after the killer used it? Oh.
There must be something.
I mean, if the footsteps Kai and I heard were the killers, they probably chucked the pin in here on their way out.
Absolutely not.
No, that's not what happened. If the killer entered this closet and hid the rolling
Listen to
pin,
me.
Grace and I would have seen them. She and Grace were investigating this closet at the time. What if the killer had placed a pin in here before he came downstairs? If they were out in the hallway, why didn't they use that as their chance to escape. She's right about that too.
Moving on.
I don't think there's anything else in this room. Let's keep investigating. One moment she's speaking nonsense, the next she's totally coherent. I don't think I'll ever understand this girl.
Look.
This is Storage Closet D. Mark and John explored it. Let's see what I can find here. Is there anything weird about this room?
That's...
I think I see something behind this pile of boxes. I stood on my tiptoes to get a better look. So they really are here.
Well,
What's here? Extension cords. A whole bunch of them.
strange.
Oh.
Okay.
These are definitely the same type of cord I saw in the boiler room. Only difference is, these still have their other half intact. The internal plugs are pretty slim compared to the other kinds of cords. The fact that these cords match the one in the boiler means the killer must have rummaged through the closets for equipment. For what reason they needed the cord, I had no idea, but this was still a step in the right direction. This was the closet Kai and I explored. It was hard to get a good look at its contents in the dark, but seeing it now, there doesn't seem to be anything important here. I think we can move on. Okay. We've looked through all the closets now. Did you find anything you needed? Yeah, I did. The rolling pin and the stack of extension cords, there's no doubting their relevance to the case, at least based on what I've investigated so far.
Anyway.
Eva, let's go upstairs and collect more testimonies. Finally. Oh, blood? There's dried blood on the floor. For some reason it seemed to pool right around this particular spot. Dried blood, like in the boiler room. You noticed the blood in there.
Correct.
I noticed you noticing it.
See.
So,
Who do you think left all this blood behind?
Focus.
Well, it can't be Wolfgang, can it? Considering the sort of injuries he sustained, it wouldn't make sense for him to spill a lot of
There
blood.
must be something.
Which means the only possibility we're left with
what could it
is
be?
the blood belongs to someone else. Exactly. If I didn't notice the blood here, would you have pointed it out to me? I would have pointed it out to you if the roles were reversed. That way, you'd know not to step on it.
Right.
Sure, I'd point it out.
Thanks.
Thanks. As Eva and I emerged from the basement on the lookout for anything we could use, that could aid us in the investigation.
Eh?
Right in front of us, a flustered Eloise was huddled with her back to the wall, standing next to her. Sup, you guys? Might want to lower your voice around here. Some stuff has happened.
What could it be?
Is something wrong? Sorry, Eloise had a bit of a frightening experience recently.
think?
I think we all
No
have.
kidding.
Well, yeah, the scene downstairs is bad, but I'm talking about something else. After Tozu left, we tried going inside Wolfgang's room to look for clues, but the moment we stepped in, she suddenly pounced on me. She tracked me out, and Desmond ran after us. I wouldn't have been able to get my heart to stop beating so quickly since. Hold on, the she you're referring to. Yep, it's Grace. She's been guarding Wolfgang's dorm ever since she kicked us out. Grace was blocking access to Wolfgang's dorm? What the hell? We can't let her bar us from entering his room. The class trial could start at any moment. That's what I tried telling everyone else, but they pretty much gave up. Jen and Mark went to the dining hall, Diana went to the laundry room, and Toshiko and Ingrid went to the courtyard. Eloise and I, though, were gonna let this slide. We gotta get inside this dorm room. So we've been brainstorming other ways to approach Grace.
Think about it this
And
way.
we've landed on something. Performing a brief inquisition. If Grace doesn't want to cooperate, we'll start badgering her with questions, poke at her ego until it eventually retreats.
Safety first.
If you want, you can join us. A debater must be good at dishing verbal beatdowns, yeah? I did come in here to inspect Wolfgang's dorm, so I might as well. If that's the case, I'll go to the dining hall and ask Jet and Mark for their testimonies. You're not coming along?
Where?
Grace isn't someone I'd like to be around right now. You three can handle her. Something tells me she's just afraid of her talent being
Right.
mocked. No sweat. Have fun with Jet and Mark.
Goodbye.
Eva left in the direction of the laundromat, clearly taking the long route to the dining hall. So, should we approach Grace then? Yeah, let's not waste any time. Do you want to take the lead, Damon? Sure. I wasn't going to admit it either of their faces, but their plan seemed pretty half-baked. Not because I was going to face off with Grace, but because she was too. How could a bumbling person like her be of any help in a verbal showdown? If anything, she'll make us look uncoordinated. Guess I'll have to do most of the heavy lifting here. Since Grace was the one guarding Wolfgang's dorm, she should be right around the corner. Don't you two yuppies get it? You're not coming in.
Mixed up.
We're not here for that. Damon just wants to ask you a question. He isn't coming in either. Why not? I need to investigate Wolfgang's dorm room.
Soybean.
Back off, Soybean. His room is none of your business. Except it is. I have to search his last known whereabouts, which include his dorm room by default.
See that?
What if I said I've done the job for you?
Again.
As in, you've searched the room? High and low? High and low. Want to know what I found? Nothing. For us to believe that, we need to see it for ourselves. You think I'm lying?
Just saying.
There's a chance you could be, unfortunately. Think about it. You haven't given us any reason to believe you. Someone who's going to hide. Someone who's got nothing to hide wouldn't be acting this protective right now, you know? It gives the impression there's something you really don't want us to see.
Anyway.
Also, couldn't this be considered breaking the rules? Tozu wants the game to be fair, but being prevented from searching every room doesn't seem very fair.
Don't test me.
Even if it wasn't, what are you gonna do? Al, report it to Tozu.
You.
Makes sense.
Nice idea. What do you say you look for him now? If Tozu agrees it's a sabotage, he might call Hamara to help. It's not sabotage. I'm not hiding anything about the murder. Don't try to get me involved. Desmond never mentioned anything about Wolfgang's murder.
Anyway.
Look, just let us into the room. If you're telling the truth, we'll drop our suspicions.
Gotta stay one step ahead.
The reality of the situation is, we gotta invade Wolfgang's privacy if we want to know what happened to him. He would want to investigate our dorms if anyone else had died. Grace stood there silently, then stepped away from the door.
Okay.
Thanks, Grace. With a sigh of relief, we entered Wolfgang's dorm. Oh, shit. So this was Wolfgang's dorm. While some of my expectations were correct, a lot of the room still surprised me. I anticipated the layout resembling dorms and the decor reflecting his talent. What I didn't anticipate was how messy it was. Well, maybe not messy, just really casual. A room that clearly had been well lived in.
Oi, you.
Don't move things around when you inspect them. I want to keep the room as is. Clothes were scattered across the room, including a familiar-looking woman's jacket. Nothing about them looked suspicious. A large toy bear adorned the bed. Something tells me this didn't belong to the room originally. Wolfgang had also had a pinup calendar in his room. This isn't what I should be focusing on during a murder investigation. Huge wooden bookshelves filled to the brim with a catalog of books towered over the room. Skimming the titles, most seemed to be about the intricacies of the legal system, although some were about old court cases, rehashed with new evidence. Did Wolfgang really read any of these, or were they all just for show? An intricately patterned couch side by side with two red sofa chairs. Even the throw pillow seemed to be arranged in the right way. Gay. Oh, no, it is. Oh, it's very gay. Well, the thing is that all of the guys were given hot, sexy male celebrity calendars, and all of the girls were given horse calendars. I thought that's fucking funny. Okay, let's talk to Desmond, because I know we need to talk to him. What's up, Damon?
Hi.
Can you check something out for me?
Easy enough.
In here
That's not
or
it.
in the boiler room? I found a taser gun there.
For real?
I can't tell if it's been fired or not. I don't think it has, but I want to know for sure. Because if I'm wrong, and this taser gun was used, it might clue us into the nature of Wolfgang's death.
No kidding.
What we're talking about is that big of a deal, huh? Yeah, since you're skilled at using guns, I
All
figured.
good.
No sweat. I'll see to it once I'm done here. Thanks for the heads up, Damon. Eloise was kneeling on the floor, sorting through Wolfgang's bedside ottoman with a serious look on her face. Hey, can we talk for a
Give
second?
me a moment.
Okay. She closed the ottoman and stood up, now wearing the same nervous expression she always did. Is there something wrong? I want to know your whereabouts during Wolfgang's murder. Oh, when the murder happened, I was with Desmond in the courtyard. The courtyard? Yes? You can ask Desmond to confirm if you're confused.
It's simple.
Let me just ask this. What were you doing during the blackout? Blackout? Yeah, you did experience it, right?
Not.
No, I don't think there ever was a blackout. We were only alerted to the murder because of Tozu's
I
announcement.
see.
So my theory was right. If Winona never experienced a blackout in the tree room, and Eloise never experienced a blackout in the courtyard, both those buildings must be connected to entirely different power sources. We're not here for that, my ass. Hey. Normally she'd be meeting my eyes.
Quit it.
I know you suspect me. I can tell by the look on your face. But I don't know anything about his death. To be in the dark like everyone else about a person she was so close to? Damn it, get a grip of yourself, Damon. Grace can claim to know nothing about the murder, but what about everything before it? So, I heard a rumor you became Wolfgang's new bunk buddy. This room seems to confirm that. How was he this morning? Grumpy? Happy? Sick. We were planning to go to the game tournament, but he woke up with an ache in his stomach. He woke up sick? If you're telling me the truth, then Wolfgang planned to attend the tournament. Why did he say the opposite yesterday? From what I remember, Wolfgang said he'd be too busy to attend the tournament. More like he wanted another round at the pachinko machine. I would know. I interrogated him after breakfast. That's seriously what he meant?
Yeah, okay.
Which was why I told him, hey, no, let's do the tournament. He was a bit finicky at first, typical for a soybean, but he eventually caved. Wolfgang was a pachinko player. I'm not sure I can believe that. Then again, some of the other paraphernalia in this room looked neither golf nor law related. Alright, so based on what you're saying, Wolfgang agreed to attend the tournament yesterday. However, come this morning, Wolfgang remembered the pirate was attending, so he suggested I track down the guy and partner with him instead. Right, because you needed to bring a partner to the tournament. Wolfgang, he knew I was miffed about it. His smile said as much. But I walked out the door anyway.
Dumbass.
Wolfgang said he was too sick to get out of bed, so I walked away. If Wolfgang really had been bedridden, how did he wind up in the boiler room? Either he didn't come of his own volition, or he was never sick to begin with. By the look on her face, I could tell Grace realized the same. With all that said, it wasn't like Wolfgang to hide anything. For a guy who's so gung-ho about honesty, you'd think he would confide in the person he's closest to. Did the letter I find inside his blazer pocket have something to do with it? While only a few words were legible, a lot could be gleaned from them. For example, the mention of a secret. Did the rest of the note elaborate on it, or was the word alone enough to scare Wolfgang? Maybe he wanted to shield Grace from information even he couldn't handle, or maybe he simply didn't want her to know. Whatever the reason, Wolfgang Akure deliberately hid information from someone. Ironic, huh? Well, that's all I can find. Why was Grace so antsy about people entering? There didn't seem to be anything suspicious lying around here. In any case, since I'm done here, I should head to the dining hall. I'm pretty sure that's where Eva said she was going. As soon as I entered the room, Eva walked over to me. I've just finished telling everyone here. Anything important?
Rage.
Nothing important. I don't think Jed or Mark are taking this seriously. This might end like the mock trial where only a couple people know what they're doing. Does she really think so? Well, that information definitely didn't bode well for me. I couldn't afford to be discouraged by it. Not unless I want to die in this game. I'll see if I can make these two talk. Good luck. Is it me, or is there something funky about this place? What? I don't know, man. Everything feels kind of off. I can't place why, though, and it's bugging the crap out of me. Sounded like he just felt uncomfortable being here. I guess I can't blame him. With the turn things have taken, the tension and excitement of the tournament was all but a distant memory. And this room was now a reminder. Wolfgang died right under our noses. Why didn't Tozu fix the blackout himself? Is the maintenance of this place seriously our responsibility?
Okay.
The fridge and pantry are restocked every day, though. Can't things just be consistent? Whining aside, he made a good point. Why didn't Tozu fix the blackout? Thinking back on his spiel from earlier. Did Tozu abstain from fixing the blackout because it was important to the killer? They could easily make their escape if no one could see anything.
Hey.
Oh yeah, Damon, since you're here, I've been thinking hard about those footsteps we heard when we were in the storage closet.
No, seriously.
Yeah, they were soft, right? Like the person was wearing socks? I'll let you mention it. It did sound like socks on a hard floor. Of all things to be right about, it has to be this. What do you mean?
Man.
I mean, why didn't the killer just wear shoes? Think about it. the sound of something like heels or something would be pretty distinct, right? Or what about sneakers? They get really squeaky on a smooth floor. And
Don't say
what
that.
I'm saying is, you could totally figure out the shoes from the sound it makes. And if you know what shoes the killer had on, you can just look for the person with a matching pair. But socks? Anyone can be wearing those. The person probably removed their shoes for that reason.
This sucks.
Just our luck.